want. I pray this devil die and get every evil thing the Lord got to give. And listen, I know you look at us in the state we in right now. Come here, Charlotte. Come here, Charlotte. I know you look at us in the state we in right now. Black people on drugs, and we suffering and dying. And I know it seems like you can do whatever you want to this people. I know it seems like this, but the time for glorifying yourself is soon at an end. Two parties, brass. What color is brass? Jesus Christ was a black family.
From the door I emerge like a bird called Phoenix. Calculate my next move. I'm a goddamn genius. Is Romulus with the remission. Girl got demons trying to dictate what a nigga do with his parents. Get off with defense and give him this one body of Christ. It's the home of the truth. We gon' body the lies of the else above. You love the white man, you hate how we adjust him. You love the suppression, hate to see him kissing the boot of the professional, so respectable. Fear of the Lord. If it wasn't for YAHANNA, we'd have been in your door, collecting debts and cutting extra month. Sometimes to cut the check. Even in our exile, we the Levites who come to break. The key to our successes in the projects. Our focus on to see we simply tell the read and digest. We gon' reason with the most high, we speak his dialect. We gon' write this book, over trees and meaning diagram. Can't get Jordan Davis, Scully, Cora out of my head. Look to the kind girl that you so evil to be wild. And the one man is the devil, ain't no way you can deny that the UPK's the only place to get a nigga mind back without this out of breath. Look within your brain, a sanctuary, say that you don't like it too. It goes from Audrey to the most of calm down. Run, fire me, I've been through Hebrew Academy, had this shit beat.
Every time I'm out with my friends, the bring the children of faith. I'm a defender of the faith when you look the other way.
I climb a mountain with my friends, the raise the children of faith. I'm a defender of the faith when you look the other way. I climb a mountain with my friends, the raise the children of faith. I'm a defender of the faith when you look the other way. I climb a mountain with my friends, the raise the children of faith. I'm a defender of the faith when you look the other way. My life is straight, there's no escape. I will embrace for the impact. We taught I.S.U.P.K UPK style. We representers, not pretenders, the defenders of the faith. Stay separated from these fakes. UPK style. When you see us coming, greet us like governments on subpoenas. Nothing but the border us. UPK style. Every day we go to battle. Shield of David on the mantle. Controller, her like some cattle. UPK style. You could fight a fight when you prefer to fight. Like the Maccabees, like TIP said. Why you mad at me? I'm tired of living casually with the casualties of war. The crimes against humanity are unimaginable. I don't know about you, but I know that I cannot endure another cool nigga talking about we need to love more. As much as I hate him, I was trained to never abhor. Future membership, you lucky partakers in my labor. For after 1,000 years of bondage, we won't feel no remorse. This is the patience of the saints of the defenders of the faith.
After 1,000 years of bondage, we will see him no remorse. This is the patience of the saints of the defenders of the faith.
Okay, Shalom, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Brakatham to the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shema Alathar Hashem Yahushua to the sisters. Alright, this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under command and General YAHANNA, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. You understand, the I.S.U.P.K is not affiliated with any other group. And then since 1969, the I.S.U.P.K has been teaching that the so-called blacks of the transatlantic slave trade and the natives of North, Central, South America, that they are the true biblical Israelites according to the Bible. You understand? And since that time, we've been teaching the true understanding of this Bible that has been, given to us by our oppressors and given to us of this foolish slave doctrine, surrounded by. Every time people think about the Bible and God, they think about Christmas and Santa Claus and Easter and birthdays and all manner of uncleanness that is not in the Bible. They think of going to church and being molested by a Christian pastor. They think of going to church where everyone's singing and rolling around like idiot and banging a damn tambourine. But that's not in the Bible. That's not the most high power of this Bible is not no blonde hair, blue eyes white guy. That's not the man of this Bible. The man, the most high of this Bible is a black man. You understand? A black man, and his son is our King Yahushua Christ, Jesus Christ as you know him in the English. You understand? Or Yahushua in his true name, in the true holy tongue. You understand? This is the truth of the Bible. This is what we've been teaching since 1969. You understand? Today is the Tuesday Brotherhood class. I'm Priest Officer 500 Sham Garban Bunyamin, right down here in the UK in London. And this is the Brotherhood class. And the title of the class is, you understand, Remembering the Ways of Our Forefathers. Because for far too long, blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans have forsaken what their forefathers left behind, have forsaken what we once had as a people, and not entirely based on our fault, but mainly based on the fact that we have been taken from our heritage. We have been stripped of our heritage, and we have lost our way. And in these last days, it's a time for those people, those blacks of the transatlantic slave trade and those natives of North, Central, South America. It is the time for those people to come back to what they have lost, to remember the things of aforetime, and to remember what people we came from. Because before 1492, with the conquistadors and their destruction and slaughter and great pillage upon the natives of the Americas, and before 1619, when we were sold by the Arabs and the Africans to the so-called white man and brought over to the Americas and all over the Caribbean and Europe and UK, you understand? Before all of that, we are a people who had a heritage, had a culture, and had our own structure of things and our own laws and statutes that we kept and we lived by, and we governed ourselves in our own language. You understand? But these things that we once had, we've been stripped of, and these things that we've been stripped of have been taken by another nation. And today's society, specifically Western society, has given us false doctrines and witchcraft, which will control the minds of our young sons and daughters, which will enable them to destroy each other, destroy ourselves, and hate ourselves. That's why I.S.U.P.K under command YAHANNA has to have the Brotherhood class, because it is the medicine that is needed in our communities for the mind that has been defiled by what our oppressors has fed us for all over these over 400 years. For over 400 years, we've been taught to hate one another, hate our dark complexion, light skin versus dark skin, you understand, blacks versus Hispanics, you understand. This is the brain, and this is the the defiling of our minds that has been taking place. And we have to now clean our minds of these things and to remember what aforetime our forefathers kept, you understand? So like if you can get me Jeremiah 10 and verse 2, yeah? You understand? We have to remember the things that we once had, and Brotherhood class is something that we must remember, because we have been taught to only scheme and destroy one another instead of build up and help one another. You understand? And helping a brother may be telling him what's wrong from right, and that is the best way to help brothers and sisters. That's the only practical way, is to truly show them what is wrong and what is right, and give them something that they can actually live by. You understand? And that's the structure and the statutes and the laws that our foreparents always had, given unto us by men of the Lord, and unto them from the Most High. And this is what we must come back to. So like read that, Bokashab.
Quran, Jeremiah 10 verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen,
Mm-hmm.
and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, For the heathens are dismayed at them.
So we are commanded to learn not the way of the heathen. You understand? When blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans understand who they will understand the nations around about us, our enemies, people that have oppressed us, and the nations outside of our race, those who are non-Israelites. These are the heathen. Heathen is another word for nation or Gentiles. These words being Gentiles or nations. You understand? These are non-Israelites. You understand? And these specific nations of people, all of them were created by the Most High, just as we was. But they have customs that are contrary to our customs. They have ways that are contrary to our ways, and we are not to do as they do. We're not to learn the customs of them and follow it. We're supposed to learn our ways and keep to our statutes, what was given unto us by our foreparents. You understand? And more specifically, today, learning the way the heathen is following everything they do, man. All the things that, our sisters following, being whores online, you understand, and copying the ways of our oppressors, women, you understand, our men trying to be like our oppressors. I'll be like any other nation, you understand, following their customs and ways and their religions and their doctrines and their thought processes, you understand. When you look at facts and information, you understand that most of the things, in fact, damn near everything that we follow today as a body of people is given to us by our oppressors, or is some bastardized version of what our oppressors' culture is. But we have to understand that we have our own culture and our own way. You understand? So, like, if you get me Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 7, Bob Kishar. You understand? We as a people need to remember the customs that we was given. We need to remember the ways that was given unto our parents, and remember how great we are as a people. Remember that every nation that you love to envy and follow after, they all copy you and envy you. Yes, and yet in the same breath as envying you is copying everything you do, but they will still oppress you. They will still look down upon you and treat you as nothing. But yet you as the slave will still want to beg and plead and be friend up with them. You understand? But that's not the way. We have to remember that the Lord chose us. The Lord has always kept his covenant with us. That's why we are still here today. No other nation of people could endure what we have endured as a people and still yet be here. Still yet be here strong and breathing. No other nation could endure those things. No other nation could endure the things that we have suffered as a people. Because the Lord is with us. The Lord knows that he has not forsaken his people. It's throughout the Bible, you understand, and in the Christian church, where they have spoken heresies and lies against what is written in the Bible and against what the doctrine of our forefathers taught. These are the doctrines of the oppressor. The heresies and the vile, unclean abominations that they keep up in the church. These things are an enemy to us and our ways. These are an enemy to the mindset of our young sons and daughters. These things are these will never benefit our people and never have. In every community, every Black, Hispanic, and Native American community, every ghetto, every barrio, every reservation, you find Christianity. You find the doctrines of our oppressors, Islam, and all manners of other things. None of these things stop our brothers from killing each other. None of these things stop our sisters from being whores. You understand? These things only improve and add to that already high level of destruction in the community. So, like, read that, Bokisha.
Khan, is that Deuteronomy 27?
No, Deuteronomy 32 and 7.
Deuteronomy 32 verse 7. Remember the days of old.
Mm-hmm.
Consider the years of many generations.
Mm-hmm.
Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee.
So we are to remember the days of old. Remember the days of our foreparents, you understand? Remember the knowledge that we've aforetime kept. Now, in this time today, we're not going to go to our carnal elders, because why? Our carnal elders will be able to tell us, the history maybe, some of the history of, their time of growing up. But specifically talking about the elders of the truth, you understand? It's the elders of Israel, the elders of the priesthood, those elders, the men of renown, the men of the Lord, those elders we should look to them to seek wisdom and to think of these things, because it was always written. It was always our way and our custom that we kept. when we want to seek, we was always to seek knowledge and understand of former things and things of today and things to come. We'd always seek to the men of the Lord, and those men today are in the I.S.U.P.K under command John YAHANNA. You understand? It's like you read on.
Verse 8. When the Most High divided the two nations, their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
So Salak, if you read verse 8 again, Bob Kishore.
I'm getting a lot of feedback. Yeah. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance.
So when the Lord divided the nations, understand? The Lord, the Most High Power, did not bring all nations together to speak the same thing and to be all friends and all in this unclean Babylon and confusion. This is not of the Lord. This is not of the Most High. The Most High's will is not for all nations to be mixed together in the midst of all these different empires. This is not the will of the Lord. The Lord divided the nations. If you go back in Genesis, you read about the Tower of Babel. You know what I'm saying? Babel meaning confusion, because everyone was mix up, and that's not what the Lord likes. And the Lord divided the nations, and us too. We was divided, and we have our own culture, just like everyone else does. Just like the Arabs, just like the Chinese, the Japanese, the Mongolians, the Africans, the white man. Every nation, the Samoans, every nation of people has their culture and their way. Every nation of people has their culture and their way, because that's the way the Lord set it up to be. That's the way the Lord ordained it to be. Every nation is supposed to have their own culture and way, and everyone's supposed to keep their own cultures and ways. So, like, you read on.
When he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people.
That's right. You understand? The Most High's portion is his people. That's the Lord's portion. He divided the nations, the people that he created and structured on the earth, and given them all their different features and looks and customs and mindsets and everything. And he had us. We was the portion of all that he divided. We was his. We was the ones that he chose. Those blacks of the transatlantic slave trade, who everyone looks down upon, but yet still everyone envies. Those natives of North Central South America, who have suffered at the hands of the conquistadors and the British, you understand, and are now living in hovels today, just like the Negroes, you understand. Those people are the Israelites. Those people are like the people that everyone looks to. Everyone observes and sees their great talent and everything that they do, and admires them. But at the same time, everyone oppresses them and looks down upon them. These things are always foretold, that these things will happen in the last days, because we forsook the Lord. As a body of people, we forsook the Most High, and we forsook the laws and the statutes that came along with serving the Most High. So, like, if you get me Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 16. As a people, we need to come back to what we once had, and that brotherhood is based in our laws. Without our rules and our statutes, there can be no brotherhood. Without our laws and statutes, there can be no order or no culture. There'll be nothing for us. That is our culture and that is our way. Without rules and protocol and discipline, there can be nothing. There can be no order. There can be nothing. We can have nothing. We can carry on living as we have been living, you know what I mean, following the rest of the beasts of the field and following their ways and having lawlessness run about and letting our daughters become whores and our sons become sodomites and all manners of uncleanness. Let it fester as it has been for all these hundreds of years. But when you seek justice and honor, and when you seek, you know, righteous judgment and honorable things, and you seek the unity of your people and the uplifting of your people and let them come out of the hovel that they're in, that's when you will seek the culture of your people. And that culture is our culture. That Bible and what is written, those laws and statutes, is our culture, man. That is our way. And that is the way that we are commanded to live and be and think. And these things is the only way that can guide us and keep us in the right path, and allow us to achieve things like brotherhood, but at the same time achieve our great success as a nation of people, achieve our rulership over the earth and our place on this earth. That's what we have lost. As a people, we are scattered and following all kinds of manners of different doctrines, and we're following every manner of thing under the sun. But without our laws and our statutes, we are nothing. The Lord gave us many things, but the main thing He gave us is our statutes and laws and the commandments that He gave unto our great elders. And these things is what will guide us. These things is what we must come to in the last days, and the service upon the men that are due this respect. You understand? The service unto the men that are actually earn their place to have that respect, and those people are those men are in the I.S.U.P.K under Command John YAHANNA. The men that serve under Command John YAHANNA and him, these are the men that have earned our nation's respect, and these are who you should pay your tithes to. This is where you should pay your tithes to, not in the Christian church, where they only destroy and further damage our community. Not in the Muslim mosque, you understand, where they encourage our brothers to kill each other and forsake their laws and customs, but to seek another. You understand? That's not the way. We should seek our own, and our own is not trying to, go back to our former oppressor, our former slave master, which would be the Arabs or the Africans, which would be in the west coast of Africa. That is not our way. Those people, if you have any sense, if you have any understanding of basic history, you'd understand that those people enslaved you and sold you over here. So since common sense and reality would tell you that no, we should not go to another nation of people to be furtherly oppressed again. No, we should join our hands together under a righteous banner, under men who are owed that loyalty and respect. You understand? So, like, you read that.
Jeremiah 6:16. Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways, and see, and ask for the old paths. Where is the good way, and walk therein. And
so we should seek. So we should seek the old paths and the old ways. You understand? We should stand in the way and ask and seek the ways and the old paths, the ways that are righteous, and walk therein. We should seek these things, and just like I said before, you seek these things from the men of the Lord, man. The men of the Lord in the I.S.U.P.K who have been teaching this sound doctrine since 1969. Remember, there would be no knowing or knowledge of you're an Israelite with proper facts and proof and prophecies, and then after that, archaeology and historical facts. You understand? Without all of that, you know what I mean, and you wouldn't be able to say nothing about you're Israelite. You could say the Israelites are black. That's what you could probably say. But without the UPK and the proper knowledge that was bestowed, that or the secrets that was revealed to the elders in the UPK, there would be no Israelite nothing. You understand? All them Israelite unity camps, all of that is completely against what is written. You understand? It's completely against what our king taught when he was on this earth. It is completely against all of that. There's manners of confusion and madness, and there's no order among them. You understand? Then they can get bullied by purple sodomites. You understand? That what kind of unity is that if you get bullied by purple sodomites? You understand? That's not right, man. These people, these heretics in these false groups have proven their disloyalty and lack of their lack of worthiness to lead our people. They have proven that in their own deeds. This is the fruits of what they have, come by. The seeds that they have planted and the fruits that have come off their seeds is evident, man. It is all evident. That is how you know who the men are that you would seek this knowledge from and seek the old paths from. But if you want to be ignorant and do what feels good, then you may find yourself in purple. You may find yourself in the church. You may find yourself being a rapist. But you just know that you're doing your own will and you're doing the will of the Father because you have not sought the old ways, as we're reading here. We're supposed to seek the old ways and apply. When we get the true knowledge, you're supposed to apply it. You understand? So, like, you read on.
Khan. And ye say, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But
So, okay,
they
read it
said,
again.
we can't. And ye shall find rest for your souls. There's a bit of feedback, other one. A lot of feedback.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not hearing anything. Um, but can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but it's feedback. It's like when I'm speaking, it's echoing back to me, so it's throwing me off some of the reading.
Oh,
But it's okay. We'll carry on. Don't worry.
uh, yeah. Go
But
ahead.
but they said, we will not walk therein. Also, I set a watchman over you, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet.
So the Lord said he set watchmen over the nation of Israel. He set watchmen over us, man. And these watchmen, like I said before, are in the UPK. These are the watchmen that are here to tell you and to give you that strict command to speak and to do what is right. You understand? Remember, since 1969, UPK has been out there on them street corners telling the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that they must come out of the ways of the oppressor. It has been told, and it's consistently being told today. You know what I mean? Everyone else out after that was just following fashion, just like in the time of Christ. You understand? And this is the thing. We must understand this and hearken diligently. Hearken unto what is being said here and what is being acknowledged. We need to separate from our oppressors and the people that are around about us.
Right.
And not to say that you can't be around other nations of people. No one ain't saying that. Of course, we're in this land and we're doing our captivity, we're doing our thing. But understand this: when you say separate, we're meaning specifically, spiritually separate yourself, man. You're not gonna be, you go to your slave and you come back and then you go and you serve the Most High in your own life. You do your own thing. You don't do what they're doing. You don't go to their parties and they go to their events. You do what you're supposed to do, man. You serve the Most High and you keep your feast days with the people, man. You understand? You do what the Lord says, and this is how you separate. When you separate, you don't eat swine. You don't eat shrimp, crab, and lobster. When
Right.
you separate, you don't celebrate Christmas, Easter, New Year's, and Halloween and all manners of unclean, feast days of the heathen. You don't do those things. That's how you separate. You don't celebrate your birthday and worship yourself. We don't do that. That's how you separate. That's how you make the step forward to separate yourself from this kingdom. Is being separate. You know what I mean? Being holy, as the scriptures say. So like if you drop that, yeah, and you get Proverbs 22 verse 6, Bob Kashaw.
Proverbs 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go,
Mm-hmm.
and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
So when you train, is the scripture saying to train up a child when he is coming up? You understand? You train up your children. Our sons and daughters should be trained up in our ways and our customs. You understand? These laws and statutes that we once kept as a nation. This is what you should train your children, man. This is what you should teach them. Not teach them the uncleanness of television today, where they're teaching all this LGBT homosexuality and all this nonsense, man, and teaching all this Martin Luther King BS, making our sons and daughters weak. Nah, teach them the laws of their fathers. Teach them their history. Teach them, information that they can prove and stand on growing up, and nothing can stand against it. You understand? Teach them the history and the sources in the books that will show who we are as a people. Teach them the prophecies of scripture and the true breakdowns of who we are and how we keep our customs and ways. Show them the truth. Show them who their enemy is. Because when those other nations of children and other nations of people, their children are at home, they know who their enemy is. They know who theirs are. You understand? They still come to school. They still frolic around like everybody else's children. But when they go home, they know different. When they walk and they do things differently. And that's how we should be. We should train our children to be the same way. We should train our children to learn our customs and our ways and to serve the Most High. That's what we should train our children to do. Because if we do that and we did it diligently as we are commanded to do, you understand, they will come up and they will not depart from it. They'll remember they'll remember the call. They'll remember what was written. You understand? They will remember what their parents taught them, and they will remember who they are and where they come from, and they won't be so easily swayed into the doctrines of this world and the foolish theories and philosophies of this unclean, vile kingdom. So, like you read on.
Kanawan Khan. The rich ruleth over the poor.
Mm-hmm.
And the borrower is the servant to the lender.
Mm-hmm. So that's the kingdom we live in now, you understand? The rich, they rule over the poor. And these people that we take loans with, we the borrower. And the lender was the one who rules over us. You understand? This is the kingdom that we're in today. The nations of people round about us, they rule over us and they borrow to us. You understand? They lend to us, Salakia. You understand? They lend to us and they add on to it and they have tax upon it. You understand? And they rule over us, man. They're the ones who control our TVs. They're the ones who control all the media so that our kids, whatever they see is all defiled and it corrupts them. You understand? They're the ones who control what goes on the television. They control whatever is being taught in your schools. They control whatever books is being taught, and false history is being taught to your children. You understand? This is who rules over us, man. Our oppressors and our enemies rule over us, and they are the rich. They are round about us. Even those nations who be called as immigrants, they rule over us still. You understand? We'll be here for how many years we've been over here. We built up the economy and the wealth of this kingdom. But yet, meanwhile, nations who can just jump on the back of a lorry and they can just jump on it and, they can do what their thing and they get up better than us. You know why? Because these nations of people are not with us. You know what I mean? They are a confederate against us, all of them. They may be enemies among themselves, but their true enemy is us. They hate more than anything. They hate us. That's what we must remember when we have our children and we walking in this world and we're maneuvering here, is to remember that nothing is with us. The Lord is with us if we serve Him correctly. You understand? But when we go out those doors, your children and you yourself, when you leave those doors, you're surrounded by your enemies. Every little thing, every advert, every commercial, every TV program, everything that their child is going to face is against them, is contrary to what they should be doing and what they should be following. That is the battle. That is the battle that we must face as a people in so-called 2021. This is the battle that we must face. The battle that we must face is the spiritual battle of battling all the lies of the philosophies of the oppressor. All the lies and the philosophies of, loving everyone. Yes, that sounds good. That everyone's happy and everyone respects each other, which is a lie. You understand? That's a lie. Blacks and Hispanics are the only ones who receive such oppression and cruelty and actually forgive and love after the people that are treating them like crap. You understand? But those nations of people, they don't think like you. They're not slaves like you. They're not gonna be as you are. They're going to treat you like dirt, and they're gonna, if you do anything to them, they're gonna come back with something. You understand? They love their own. They're not like you. They're not been so mentally broken to be so weak. They're not like you, and they know it. You understand? They know these things. It's just, and it's nothing wrong with being the way they are and loving their own. That's a good thing. But we should understand that too. We should break the bonds of our minds and forsake the slave mentality of destroying your brothers and sisters and start to build your brothers and sisters. You understand? We have the mindset of, we're going to do things for the betterment of your people. We're not going to do things just for ourselves. We're going to do things for our brothers and sisters. That's what we should be thinking. In everything that we think and do, We should be thinking on the practicality of all things, and the practicality that we should know that, listen, we shouldn't be trying to make enemies of our own brothers and sisters, but we should be making peace of our own and pushing forward to achieving the laws and the statutes of the Bible, and achieving that kingdom which is in all of us. Salaki, if you get me Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 2, Baba Kashar. We as a people need to remember who we are, man. The Lord chose us. The Lord gave us great talents and great wealth and riches that is to come to us. All this earth will be inherited to our children and our children's children. We shall rule over this earth, man. But when we achieve our knowledge and achieve this righteousness, that's when we will be able to achieve the kingdom and achieve rulership over these nations who have done nothing but oppress us. So, like, read that, Bokasha.
Isaiah 1 verse 2. Hear, O heaven, and give ear, O earth, for the Lord hath spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider.
So the Israelites, you understand, the Israelites are being compared to an ass, which is a donkey, you understand, and an ox, which is a form of cow or bovine creature. And Israel is being compared to these creatures, as docile as these creatures may or may not be. They know their home. They know that if they know their owner, and they know where they're living, their barn is, or wherever their area of living is, or where the herd is normally grazing, where the farm is, where the farmhouse is, where's the barn that they're kept in, the pen that they're kept in, you understand? They know their home, and they know their owner. A donkey, you know what I mean? You can take it far, far away from its home, but then it will find its way back. You understand? It knows its owner. It knows who owns it, and it knows its home. But the children of Israel, the true biblical Israelites of the Bible, they do not know, man. They do not know who their father is. They don't know who their true power is, you understand? And they don't know where their home is. They think it's Africa. They think it's Egypt. They think it's Somalia. You know what I mean? They think it's, you know, forget it. But the New Orleans think it's some other planet. You know what I mean? Like, you understand? They think it's all the way in Arabia. You understand? They think they're supposed to be Muslim. They think all manner of things. They don't know who they are. They don't know where they come from. They don't know nothing. And that's the truth. The reality is that as a people, we have lost our way. But even in our approach to seek so-called consciousness and to really find out who we are, we have really fallen astray, because we've gone based on our lusts and our carnality and not based on the facts. You know what I mean? They choose to go to Egypt and to the African countries because people look or have dark skin like you. So ignorant of the history and so little ignorant of the fact that that's a mindset of the oppressor. That colorism mindset is of the oppressor. Like, because a nation of people is dark skinned or the same complexion as you, that doesn't mean they're the same nation of people as you. That's an ignorant and simplistic mindset which was enforced upon us in slavery. But again, that's one of the many things and examples of us not knowing who we are, because the East Indians have their own culture and way, but they're not us. They're completely different from us. They have their own thing.
That's right.
And just because they're dark skinned doesn't mean they're the same nation of people as us. The Polynesians, the Samoans, and the you understand, the Tongans and them, some of them even look very much like us. They have long hair, they got woolly hair, they're dark skinned, you know what I mean? Some will call them black, but they're not us. They're a different nation of people than us. Their history and our history is two different things. Their culture and their way is too different from us. You know what I mean? They're different people from us completely. They have a different bloodline of people from us, man. They're not our people. You understand? And that is a example of one of the many things in which how we as a people have been so fallen astray. We believe that, you know, nations of people are distinguished based on what they look like, which is of course ridiculous. Because again, another example is, you know, you look at the Mongolians, you look at the Chinese, you look at the Japanese, right? They're all three different nations of people. Now you understand, they, you know, along the lines, their forefathers, you got Moab and you've got Ammon among them. But even as nations today, they're still different in their cultures and their history. You understand? Now they're not too far off, but they're different enough to be distinguished. When you look at the Chinese and the Japanese, now to everyone else they look the same, but they don't. Just because they look the same doesn't mean they're the same. If you say to a Japanese man that he is Chinese, he's gonna get proper offended. You know what I mean? He's gonna want to fight you. If that's what you say, no, they're gonna create that. No, I'm not Chinese. And they're going to tell you where they come from. They're going to tell you where their family's from. They're going to tell you all that. They can tell you where their grandfather from and their grandfather's grandfather, and they can tell you all of that. You understand? Because these nations people know what a slave does not know. A slave doesn't know that, you know, what you look like means nothing, because a slave has been taught based on what whoever controlled us or owned us at that time, he's going to enforce a certain mindset upon us and divide us like that. But they know their history, and aforetime in the ancient world, nations of people, for the most part, the ruling nations for the most part were of brown and darker brown complexion. You understand? They were all dark-skinned people. Right. And then over time, the so-called Caucasian came from the cliffs of the rock, and then he conquered and took over lands and peoples, and made a name for himself. And then he went to Australia and called himself Australian, when the native people of Australia are what? They're dark-skinned. They're darker than us. You understand? The native people of America, which are our brothers, the Gadites. You understand? He goes over to an entire land mass and calls him himself. He goes to Europe and takes it from the Polynesians, who were the former owners of these lands of Europe, which are the Polynesians. And now he calls himself by that name. That's the nation of Edom, the Caucasians today. They have done that, and they have spewed their colorism along with it, because before their rule over the earth, there was many nations of people, and they knew how to differentiate themselves among each other based on their cultures and their language and their way, not based on their skin complexion. Now, yes, one may have a certain strong features compared to another, but that alone does not define who you are. And that is the many examples of us not knowing who we are and how and where we come from. So, like, if you drop that and you get me Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6.
Fine. Hosea 4 verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
You understand? The Israelites, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. We're destroyed for the knowledge of the Lord. We are destroyed for the knowledge of the laws of our foreparents. We're destroyed for the lack of knowledge of our customs and ways, and the Most High's customs and ways. We're destroyed for that lack of knowledge, not knowledge of the oppressor and his customs, because we know that all too well. Not destroyed because of not destroyed for the lack of understanding of the philosophies and the teachings of our oppressors. No, we love that. We love that. We love all that knowledge. We love that knowledge when it comes to destroying ourselves and our people. We love that. We love when we want to serve another nation of people's gods, and envy other nations of people. We know that. We've got that knowledge. We've got too much of that. You understand? But the knowledge of the Most High is what we lack. That's what we're destroyed for. The knowledge of the laws and the commandments and the statutes that was given unto our foreparents, that is what we lack as a people. The true Israelites today, that is what they lack. Those are the people of the Most High. This is not talking to everyone. The true Israelites of the Bible were destroyed for that lack of knowledge. But the simplicity of Christianity and the lies of Amalek, our oppressors, you know what I mean? These things have corrupted us. And this is the knowledge that we lack, man. And because we reject the knowledge that was given unto our parents, and our foreparents will reject that knowledge, the Most High rejected us. That's how we end up on slave ships. That's how we ended up, you understand, suffering at the hands of the conquistadors and taking on another nation's language and speech, speaking English and French and Spanish and Portuguese. This is how we learn and come by these languages, not because we decided to, I want to learn a different language. No, because we was forced upon because we was forced to learn these languages. You understand? We was forced to learn these languages, and we was never allowed to retain our true tongue, which is the Lashon Kodash, the Hebrew. We lost our heritage and lost our way because we forsook the laws and the commandments of our foreparents. Then we found another nation of people, and they taught us their ways. You understand? That's how we haven't retained our knowledge now in the UPK and the truth. You know what I mean? Under the great priest of the Lord, we have come back to our heritage and our way. But generally, as a people, we do not know. You understand? So, like, if you drop that and get 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 10, Bokasha. You understand? We as a people have lost our way, but we must remember what the laws of our foreparents was written, and what is written in the book of the Most High, and the records that was left behind, and what is written in history that we can understand, and we can all look towards, and then we can then, with the true understanding, we can then apply it in our lives and turn from this wicked kingdom and restore what was lost. You understand? So, like, read that word, Pesha.
1 Corinthians 1, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
Who delivered us from so great a death, and doth deliver, in whom we trust, that he will yet deliver us. Yet, Salakia, ye also helping together by prayer for us, that for the gift bestowed upon us by the means of many persons, thanks may be given by many on our behalf.
Mm-hmm.
For our rejoicing is this, the testimony of our conscience, that in simplicity and godly sincerity, not with fleshly wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
but by the grace of God, we have had our conversation in the world, and more abundantly to you would. For we write none other things unto you than what ye read or acknowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And I trust ye shall acknowledge even to the end.
So we as a people need to basically, you understand, kind of jump past it, but ain't no sweat. You understand? We as a people need to remember what we was given. Man. We was given the grace of the Most High. We was given the laws, and we through the simplicity and the sincerity of serving the Most High. That's how we should do it, man. We should go back to the old ways. We should go back to the ways where it may seem simple to the people of today's world, that you dress in a certain way, and you're doing certain things that are ancient and old. It may be simple in in their minds, but we're not looking at the carnality of it. We're looking at the spirituality of it, man. And the only spiritual way for any Black, Hispanic, or Native American is to come back to his heritage. That's the only way.
Right.
Come back and wear your glorious apparel and your customs, man. Your honorable clothes that you used to wear, your culture, man. You know what I mean? Come back and wear your shield, man, and do what the Lord says. Compete and keep the feast of the Lord. Do as He has commanded us to do, not to do to our carnality and our vain glory. Nah, man, we should seek the Lord based on what is written and on our sincerity of coming back to what is ours, because we don't know what is ours. We want to join hand with everybody else, and even people that in the world who believe that they love their people and believe they have some kind of sincere love for their people. They don't, because they can't love the people without loving another nation. That's the point. You know what I mean? You have to give your love to another nation of people in order to love your own, which is foolishness. And the only true love is love that it can only be given to your own, man. How can you have love for a nation of people that have oppressed and looked down upon and treat your people like nothing? What space of love can you have for them? The love you should be given is to the Most High and your people and your King, which is our King Yahushua Christ. That's the only love you should have. That's the only people you should. That's the only things you should have love for, not for these nations of people. You cannot sincerely love anybody who is harming your people. You can't love anybody who's harming your children. It's impossible. You can't love your children and at the same time love the person who is attacking them and harming them. It is impossible. It's impossible. You can't love your people and love the person that is oppressing them at the same time. You know what I mean? You must be sick to believe that, and many of our people are sick. In this captivity, we have lost our way. We've lost all that we've had, and we think because it's so easy to conform and to be so friendly with everybody and to agree with everything what everyone else says, just to get by because you don't want no confrontation. Nah, man. Listen, that's not our culture. That's not where we come from. Confrontation should not be nothing should be a fear to you. But damn sure not a confrontation when it comes to standing for your people. Do you think these other nations will think twice before defending their nation towards you? Come on, man. You understand? Come on, man. Unless look at the facts. Our nation of people have always suffered at the hands of these nations of people. These other nations, these enemies, we have always suffered. But we want to give our love to them, not to our brothers and sisters. That's the problem. That's the problem with that's the problem with Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. We want to love everybody else and have no love left for the brothers and sisters in our community. You understand? For the person who's called Unstoppable Force, no, this is not a radio show. This is a class. But Friday night, which is from 9 p.m. and onwards till late, more time, it finishes about 11, is the On the Ends radio show, which is conducted by Priest and Officer 5000 Karafia. You understand? So on Friday night, which is on this channel, as well as on the Facebook, we have the on the Ends radio. So you can call up then. But this is a class. This is the Brotherhood class, and we talking about blacks, the transatlantic slave trade, and natives of North, Central, South America, that we should come back to our heritage, and we should not give our love to any other people. You understand? We should not give our love to anyone else, man. You understand? This is the only people that we should give our love to, and these are the people that deserve our love, because this is the nation of people that suffered with us in the ghettos. You understand? Who suffer with us, suffer the oppression from law enforcement, suffer from dealing with gang violence. You understand? Suffer from going to jobs and being treated a certain way, or going to your education system. You understand? These are people that suffer with us, and no matter what belief system, no matter what mindset, no matter what upbringing, these people suffer the same thing as you, regardless. You understand? You may be slightly different from them, but they all suffer the exact same thing. And in the oppressor's eyes, we are seen the same way. But the other nations, they ain't seen the same way. They don't go through what we go through. They haven't suffered the things that we suffer, and yet you want to give your love to them. Nah, man. The Bible says that we are a nation that is we're the nation of people that have been scattered and have been besieged on all sides. That's us, man. That's our people. And even today in so-called 2021, in the most modern age, we're still being treated the same way as the brothers and sisters in the 50s and 60s. No different. But the simplicity of the mind and the the love for the oppressor can cloud that. You understand? Your love for your oppressor, your love for the people that hate you, will cloud your mind and your eyes to what is evident before your face. Salaki, if you get me First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 20, Bob Kashar.
First Maccabees chapter 3. Salakia, what
20.
verse? 20.
Verse 20, yeah.
They came against us in much pride and iniquity to destroy us, and our wives and children, and to spoil us. But we fight for our lives and our laws.
So they came. Sorry, Saki, start from the top again, Bob Kishore.
Khan. First Maccabees 3, verse 20. They came against us in much pride and iniquity to destroy us.
So these nations came up against us with much pride and iniquity, man. They came up against us with all manners of wickedness and evil, all but to destroy us. They come with their media. They come with their law enforcement. They come with all their methods in the education system. You understand? They come with every method you can possibly think of to destroy our community, our brothers and sisters, our families and sons and daughters and our wives in our community. So I can read on.
Khan. And our wives and children, and to spoil us.
You know what I mean? And they come to spoil us. They spoil us with what? With their gifts of their doctrines and their Christianity and and all that they do, all their things that they push and agendas that they push, their homosexuality, their unclean foods, their vile lifestyles. They come to spoil us, man. Give us that gift that will destroy our young sons and daughters and destroy them, man. Destroy them mentally so that their lives are nothing. They can't be of any use. They can't be of any use to their nation, nor to their power. This is what they come with, man. And this is what they came with back then. This is what these nations of people came with back then. They have always been our enemies. And we should remember that. So, like, read on.
But we fight for our lives and our Lord.
You understand? But we, those who are with the Most High, those who have not forsaken our heritage, those who have come to understand our heritage and come to reclaim what is ours, we fight for our lives and the Lord, man. The laws, the customs, the statutes that was given unto our foreparents and our culture and our ways, we fight for that. We fight for the nation of people of whom it pertains to also. You understand? That's what we fight for in the truth, under command and YAHANNA. That's what we do.
That's right.
We stand for what is ours and what is sacred to us. For it is sacred to the Most High and our King Yahushua Christ. You understand? We fight for that. We fight for that thing that this world despises. We fight for that sacred bond. You understand? That sacred bond of brotherhood. We fight for that. We fight for that sacred bond of sisterhood. No matter how hard it may be, we fight for it, man. Because this whole world is trying to destroy us and trying to break what we have left. You understand? So we become nothing but vessels for their entertainment. And that's what we are today. Blacks and Spaniards today have become the vessels of our oppressors' entertainment. Just used up and thrown away. But nah, not us. Not us in here. Not the men and women in here. We will stand for what is right and honorable, man.
Right.
And we will uphold and keep and to the death what is ours. And
That's
soon,
right.
God allow, we'll take back what is ours, man. When our King shall
That's right.
return, we shall take back what is ours. But our little battle here, and the time of Maccabees, they were literally fighting with the sword. You understand? Putting down the enemy, and throwing their lives down, putting their lives in the line. And as we do today, when we go out in camp and we do this work, because everything is against us. But today, the main battle for our people is the battle of the mind. It's a spiritual battle. The battle that we face today is mainly a spiritual battle. The battle to uphold brotherhood and to seek only unity rather than division. That's the battle that we face today. The battle that we face today is to keep sisters from killing each other and hating one another, to have them be as close as can possibly be. And the same with brothers. You understand? That's what we fight for today. That's the battle. That's the battlefield. That's the front line we're at today. Is facing that. It's trying to strive for brotherhood and sincerity. You understand? That's what we're trying to fight for today. It's trying to sincerely come back to our heritage and our culture, as well as be unified among our people. And the only place Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans can truly find unity is in the I.S.U.P.K. That's the only place and the only people that are ordained to lead this nation. You understand? It's the only people that have been given place to do what is right. In the U.P.K, what we teach and what we provoke unto the Lord, you understand? Us doing what we do is provoking the Lord to send our King, man.
Right.
We want to provoke the Lord to save this nation. When we keep the feast of the Lord and we set up them prayers and we try to strive in the laws, man, we strive for perfection and for unity. That's when we provoke the Lord, man. And that's the only way. When you want to be in them unity camps and all the other heretic groups, you're not finding unity. You're scattering the people. They're scattering the nation of people, because look among them. Look at them. Look at the fruits that they bear. You understand? You can go online now and look at what they've done. Look at all that they do, and look at what effect it has on the people. And it has not done nothing great. It has done nothing different from what the Christian church has done. No different. They got a lot of numbers and they got a lot of BS. You understand? No different. Same nonsense, man. You understand? Trying to convince sisters to leave their husbands, which is unlawful. You understand?
Right.
You know what I mean? Allowing heathens to kill your sisters. You understand? Bullying your own brothers in another fake group. You understand? Hey, listen, man. You know what I mean? These people have produced their fruit, and it is evident, and the Lord sees it, man. And with us in here, we will not forsake what was taught to us. You understand? By Command YAHANNA. And just like Command YAHANNA didn't forsake what was taught to him, we will do likewise. You understand?
That's right.
We're not gonna stray from what the sound doctrine is.
Right.
Nor will we compromise like these fake Israelite groups do. They compromise what the Lord has given us, man. The Lord gave us the breakdowns and the 12 chart sign to unify the nation of Israel. He gave us these breakdowns and the way of how to come back. What did they do?
Right.
They forsook that and made their own version of things and wanted to friend up and love up heathens, just like in the church. You understand? No different, man. They forsook what the Lord gave our people, gave our nation, and they are cowards. But in the UPK, we are no cowards. We will not forsake, nor will we trim our ways. We will keep it straight, keep it right forward, man. Whatever it is, let's keep it real, man. That's how it is. We're not gonna trim our ways and soften what we teach for nobody. Not like these fake groups, you understand? And this is the unity that we should combat. The unity is under Command YAHANNA. Slucky, that's something?
Yeah, just to add to that, you might as well just call the other camps church. Just to add to that.
That's right. You understand? It's no different, man. No different from church. No different from the Christian pastor or the Nation of Islam. No different, man. What did Farrakhan do? You know, love up white man and give him a hug and a kiss. You know what I'm saying? No different, man. It's all the same thing. Wearing a bow tie, cutting your beard, being westernized and effeminized, that is the same thing. Like, what are you not seeing? It's right in front of you. But your eyes and your love for the oppressor has blinded the mind. Your love for whatever lust that it fulfills when you be in these fake groups. That's what blinds you from the truth, what is evident. You understand? That's what will blind you from what is on paper, what is right in front of you. You know what I mean? That's what will blind you. When you have the lust to be a rapist and a child molester, you will be in GMS or wherever they're going now. The breakoffs. You know what I mean? That's where you'll find yourself. You'll be in these groups because your lust will blind you from what is right. Your lust will blind you from the structure of things because it's easier for you and it's so convenient to you. That what they teach over there is not as bad as what they teach over here. They're so rough over there. They're so, extreme. You know what I mean? And over here, at least it's a little bit the same, but it's a little bit softer. And you're letting Africans, so it's a bit more friendly, and we can kind of maneuver better. We can listen. F all that, man. All of that is soft and effeminate, and it's not of the Lord. That's not how Christ walked on the earth, man. He didn't come on the earth and come with no soft nothing, man. He told the scribes and Pharisees what it was, straight up and down. He went in the temple when they were fiddling around the money and pissing about the money in the temple, and he tripped over the table. They never teach that Christ in the church. You never hear that Christ in church when he went into the temple and flipped the table over and cast them Pharisees out. You know what I'm saying? They don't teach that Christ. That's the Christ of the Bible. The Christ of the Bible is that man who loud and he was upfront and abrupt with everybody. That's how he was. You understand? He kept it real. He wasn't trimming nothing. He wasn't holding nothing back. He was keeping it according to what the Lord sent him to do, according to what the Lord ordained him and the power that the Lord gave him to stand with. That's what our Christ did. That's what our King Christ did, man. And we shall do the same. We shall stand as that, man. Be bold and truthful in our sayings and our actions. Just like Christ did, man. You understand? Salakido, if you read on Bible Kusha.
Wherefore the Lord himself will overthrow them before our faces.
That's right, man. You understand? The Lord will overthrow them before our faces. The Lord will show them signs and wonders, just like in Egypt. The Lord will give them the COVID-19 and the new variant and the other new variant and the variant after that and whatever else may follow. That's what the Lord will do before our faces. This kingdom is coming down. They're losing money. And, they have different injection schemes where they can inject money back into the system and all the rest of it. But for the most part, man, the Lord is bringing only but a taste of what is to come. There is more to come, and since this whole thing slowly began, it's only grown. You understand?
Right.
And the Lord before our faces, just like in the time of Egypt, before our faces, the Lord will bring these nations of people down. He will destroy what they have built up. And so that's what we have built up in this place by force. He will bring it down, just like in Egypt when we forged the land of Egypt and built up from the ground through slave labor, just like the UK today, just like America today, and these other European kingdoms that have built the wealth of what they have from our free labor. You understand?
Right.
And just like in Egypt when we did that, and we put in all our work to build up their kingdom under force through slavery, the same way today is how the Lord will bring it down. It will be torn down. And there is nothing their hands can do. There's nothing their military, their space force, there's nothing that they can do. They can try, but what's the point? It's gonna be over before it even begins. You understand?
Right.
And the Lord will destroy them before our faces. So like you read on.
And as for you, be you not afraid of them. Now, as soon as he heard Salakia, and now, as soon as he left had left off speaking, he leapt suddenly upon them. And so Siron and his host was overthrown before him.
All right, so that's in the time of the Maccabees, you understand? But we're gonna drop that now, Slakia, and if you get me Mark chapter 2 and verse 22, 27, Bokasha. You understand?
Mark 2:27.
And just like how we read that, you understand how the Lord will destroy them. That's how enemies today will be destroyed. You understand? All those who have partaken in the destruction of our people and what the Lord has set up. That's how they will be destroyed, man. There's no hope for those who stand against the Lord and His ways, and the people and the men that He set up. There's nothing that can stand against them. The Lord will have His way regardless. And all these things that we see before us with their uncleanness and their falsehoods, it will all be torn down and destroyed. And the thing is, for the most part, it's all evident in our faces. You know what I mean? It's all there. But when you allow your lust and your own schemes to get the better of you and be in front of all that is right and righteous, that will be your end, because you will not see what is evident and what is righteous. And most of the time, they won't even they know it's right, but they won't even admit it. You understand? They will say, "Oh yeah, man, what you lot do, what you teach is right, man, but I'm just this and I'm just that." So, you know what I mean? They know what we're saying is right, but they're just not built for it, man. Just not built for what is. And, that's just how it's going to be. There's going to be civilians in the nation of Israel. That's fine. But just know, pay your tithes to Command and YAHANNA. If you know what we say is right, and it is evident in your face, which you can see, then you should at least pay your tithes to Command and YAHANNA. Pay 10% of all your increase to the I.S.U.P.K. Go on ISUPK.com. That is the website, man. Go on the website and you pay your money, man. You know what I mean? Pay, you know what I mean? Pay your respects and pay homage to the men of the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the least you can do. If you're not down here and you're not built for the work of the Lord and you know what I mean, you're just not built to be out here, then listen, the least you can do is pay your tithes. At least the Lord will see that. You understand? But you know what I mean, for those who want to, forsake the laws of the Most High and, do their own thing and they can see the facts, but they just want to do what's comfortable for them and easy for them, and it's comfortable at the time to live how you want to live and do what you want to do. Well, listen, man, these words that are coming out of my mouth will come out every priest and officer, every priest in the UPK's mouth. That these words that you've heard and witnessed, they will be marked in your brain, man. They'll be marked in your mind. Every word. You cannot say you can't claim ignorance. You know what I mean? Because people love to claim ignorance in the time of trouble. They claim they don't know nothing. Listen, you can't do that with the Lord. The Lord knows what you was able to see and witness. The Lord knows what you know, and there's nothing that you can hide from There's nothing you can hide from the Lord. There's nothing. You understand? With all things said and done, there's nothing you can hide from the Lord. The Lord knows what you know. He knows what is right and what is wrong. And in the latter time, you answer for your crimes. When you come back on this earth again, your condition, you may not like it. But that's the judgment of the Lord, you understand? So I can read up, Bokasha.
Mark 2, verse 27.
Correct.
And he said unto them, the Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath.
So understand this, man. The Sabbath was made for man. You understand? It was made for the Israelites. You understand? Made for man in general. Because when we're in rulership, you understand? It's just humane. Our laws and our statutes are just humane and just, there's a structure and there's a law for all things. Right. And these laws were structured and made so that your servants, and in ancient times specifically, people with a decent, pay and wage, they will have servants. They'll have cleaners and people that work and do their cooking and all the rest of it. That's how it was, you understand? And your cooking was done before the sundown because they were now able to not work on the Sabbath. You understand? They were not able, because their job was to cook for you and to clean your house. Their job was to serve you. And on that day, the Sabbath of the Lord, nobody could work. You understand? No employer could have his people work. You understand? No employer could have anybody work, and no employer could have a business up and running. That's not how. That's how it was. You understand? No one could be working, because if nobody's working, then nobody's doing what? Nobody's buying or selling. You understand? That's in the nation of Israel, where we was as a nation of people, no businesses will be open because nobody would be working. Now, you understand, Christianity and Amalek and fake Israelites who love to copy the Khazarians and all the mix-up. They want to say you can't have a light switch on Sabbath. You can't cook. You know what I mean? You can't drive a car. It's nonsense, man. You understand? They don't understand the spirit of the law. They don't know what the law was made for. The Sabbath is not just made so that for some mystical reason you just don't do nothing on the Sabbath. This is madness. You understand? Which is, of course, madness. And just like our King said, the Lord made the Sabbath for man, not the man. The man was not made for the Sabbath. The man was not created so to keep. No, that's not it. The Sabbath is one of the many statutes and laws and commandments given unto us so that we know in our structure and our laws that, listen, we can't work our workers 7 days a week without rest. It is cruel. You understand? And that's the laws of the Most High. There is structure and order. There is a way that the Lord has set up so that it's all these things prevent people from being overworked, prevent people from being treated like slaves. You understand? That's why. That's the laws of the Most High. But the simplicity of Christianity and people who heretics who follow culture bandits, which don't make no sense. How can you say you're an Israelite coming back to your heritage, but yet you follow the people who have stolen your heritage? How the hell does that work? You're in zit-seats and fringes on your t-shirt, following your oppressor. Listen, man, that is not of the Most High, man. It's simple, man. You might as well circumcise your kids and put your mouth on a baby's penis as well while you're at it. You understand? Well, that's what Amalek does. Listen, man, there is only one West. There's only the I.S.U.P.K under Command John YAHANNA. Everything outside of it is a vile heresy for only cowards and people who are too weak to see what strength is. Too weak to assume strength that they don't have at that time. Right. You understand?
It's like you said.
So go ahead.
Some people are just too weak to be chosen to do the work that we do.
Right.
You know, they ain't got the strength to do it. They ain't got the strength to stand up and say Yahweh Shai is black, you know, and the white man's a liar. You know, that takes some strength to do that. And God has carefully selected people to do that. Just to add on to what you're saying.
Yeah, no, that's right, man. You understand? There are men. That's right, man. There are men that are set up for this job, man. Not everyone is built for this. But I mean, like I said before, if you know what is right, you know what you won't do is join a fake group. The least you can do is actually join and do what is right. You understand? Do what is right and do what you can. It's just like pay your tithes. What's that question? What's that? Welcome to.
Do you want me to read it, Slakia?
Oh no, not Slakia. One second. Just reading this comment right here. That's right, man. You know what I mean? That's right. You understand? Mariah, you understand? That's correct. You understand? The I.S.U.P.K is the home of the truth. That's why, because they teach these heresies, and they will have a sister with her children, a single mother. You know what I mean? They will have to teach her that, listen, the children have to eat cold food, and you know, let's say there's no food in the yard, the children have to starve now. The sister's a single mother. She's been working her damn behind, working like 2 jobs, trying to feed these children, and she gets 1 day to you know what I mean, to actually gather her things and do things for the children and make sure the house is food for them and everything. And the purple sodomite will tell them, oh, you can't buy it, so the kids have to starve. No, man. What kind of madness is that, man? You understand? But that is what is taught in these heretic groups, because they follow the oppressor. They follow Amalek, and they love their enemies. They love the African. They love all the enemies, and they love their uncleanness. And they damn sure love that purple, man. They love purple, man. You understand? But we in the UPK, we love the Most High. We love the laws of the Most High and the structure and the unapologetic, you know what I mean, the unapologetic truth, and the you know what I mean, the truth without any without any sugarcoating and softening, and no cushions to soften it up. No, man, the hardcore, gritty truth. That's what we love in here.
Right.
We love our people. And we're not going to allow our sister to starve her children because of some purple sodomite. You understand?
Right.
That's not what we do in here. And that's the reality, man. The reality is this. Without the UPK, man, our people, man, listen, man, what will we do? You know what I'm saying? And that's just the reality. Without the UPK, we would be suffering these things. There'll be nowhere for people to turn to. There'll be no safe haven for people who are sincere and are strong to turn to. And they will have to suffer and endure that mistreatment just like they did in the time of Christ under the scribes and Pharisees. You understand? So, like, you had something?
Yeah, they're gonna all fall. All of those other camps there, Purple, GMS, all of them fake groups there are all gonna fall right before us, you know, because God's not with them, Salakia.
That's right.
He's only with us.
That's right. He's only with. That's right. That's right, man. No, that's right, man. You understand? Also, like, if you where was we, Mark? If you read on from there, Baba Kishar.
28, verse 28. Mark 2:28. Therefore, the Son of Man is Lord also of the Sabbath. That's it on that one. Goes into verse 3.
Okay, no sweat. If you get me, 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 4.
1 Corinthians 14.
Yeah, man. Big up to the Chicago school, man, down there in the Windy City, man. Big up to them, man. Big up to them, and Captain Marquard, and you understand all the crew, the heavy hitters out there, man. Big up to them, man. There, man. For real, man. In that snow and the blizzard, man. Yeah, man.
1 Corinthians 14, verse 4. He that speaketh in an unknown tongue edifieth himself. But he that prophesieth edifieth the church. I would that you all spake with tongues, but rather that ye prophesy. For greater is he that prophesieth than he that speaketh with tongues, except he interpreteth.
So there you go. So now, what it's saying is speaking in tongues means speaking in another language. You know what I mean? It's, for example, if you're teaching the people, and we're in the UK, we speak English. In America, they speak they speak English. Like, you know what I mean? In Mexico, they speak Spanish. In Ecuador, they speak Spanish. In Brazil, they speak Spanish and Portuguese. You understand? On the islands, they may speak French. You know what I mean? Or they speak Spanish again. You understand? This is what this is saying, is that you need to prophesy to them in whatever tongue they speak in, basically. You understand? Give them the understanding. In the UPK, we have the Friday Lashwan Kodash class, which is the language class. You understand? Which is the holy tongue. So, okay. And that's where we teach our heritage, our true tongue, you know what I mean, the Hebrew. But when we preach to the people, wherever we may be, we speak in the language where the people understand, you understand? So in the UK, we speak English, wherever we're scattered. And that's why I'm saying it's better for the man who speaks, prophesies to the people. Like, it's good to speak other languages, but make sure you speak in a language that the people understand wherever you're teaching. That's what it's basically saying. You understand? So, and someone, unless someone interpret, you understand? Unless someone is interpreting what you're saying. It's like, because if you're speaking English and the brother's in Puerto Rico, we don't speak a word of English, he speaks Spanish. Well, you're gonna need a brother from Ephraim or Parim, you understand, to interpret for that brother, or any brother that speaks Spanish. You understand? That's why you got great men of the Lord in the UPK who speak many, have the great gifts of tongues, and the great gifts of speaking multiple languages. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's a weapon for brothers and sisters scattered all over the world, and it is a weapon. So, like, if you read on,
that the church may receive edifying. Now, brethren, if I come unto you speaking with tongues, what shall I profit you? Except I shall speak to you either by revelation, or by knowledge, or by prophesying, or by doctrine, and even things without life-giving sound.
So we
whether
basically
pipe or harp.
So we have to teach people according to the language that they're dwelling in, and according to the knowledge. You understand? So, like, if you drop that though, I don't know where I was going with that though. So, like, if you give me Philippians 2 and verse 3.
Philippians 2 verse 3. Philippians 2 verse 3. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory.
So nothing that we do in nothing that we do in the truth, you understand, is to be done is strife and vainglory. We shall not strive for that, man, because why? Coming back to our heritage, coming back to this brotherhood and the laws, we should be, our goal on this earth is to achieve brotherhood and achieve the laws. You understand? Our goal is to achieve unity among brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? And that's our goal. And if you are sincere in achieving these things, you will do nothing for strife. Meaning what? You will do nothing to cause argument or you do everything to avoid arguments and to stand against strife and issues and conflict among brothers and sisters. So you don't do things for the sake of strife and argument and vainglory. You don't do things just to show yourself off and do, you know what I mean? That is vanity. We don't do that. You understand? We do things for the betterment of our people, and we do things because it is the right thing to do, not because we want to shine on other brothers or sisters. You know what I mean? That's not what we do. You know what I mean? So I can read on.
Quran. But in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves.
Right. So we should esteem each other better than ourselves, man. Meaning what? Every brother and sister has a gift or a talent that we may not have, and we should uplift them in whatever that may be. You understand? Some brothers are good at shamar, some brothers are good at reading, some brothers are good at teaching, some brothers are good at decorating, some sisters are good at braiding hair, some sisters making garments. Some brothers are good at making garments. You understand? Every part of this body has skills, and not every individual has those skills. But we should look to the good of what our brothers have, and we should uplift them, and our sisters also. You understand? Whatever gifts, you know what I mean. We shouldn't look down upon our brothers, but we should try to uplift them and say that they're good at this, they're good at that. You know what I mean? And we should try to strive for that unity and strength, and trying to uplift each other and esteeming each other better than ourselves in that. You understand? And that's the way, and that's the way we can achieve that. That's why the UPK, we say every time we're getting praise for something, you say Most High and Christ, because you're giving your praise to the Most High and Christ, because it's not for you, but it's for them. Why you're able to do what you do. And when you're among your brothers and sisters, you wanna look to what they're good at and what they do and uplift them for it. And they're not supposed to have the spirit of having vainglory or strife. They're supposed to have the spirit of lowliness and humbleness and say, Most High and Christ, you know what I mean? And just build and do what is right. You understand? So read on.
Quran Khan. It's Salakia. Verse 4. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others.
So we should, every man should not look upon himself, basically. You know what I mean? You should look on others and try to esteem others. You know what I mean? Don't try, I'm this and I'm that. Nah, man. You know what I mean? You want to look at all your brothers and sisters and look at what greatness the Lord has given them. You know what I mean? That's how we should always look towards things in the mind. and always uplift brothers they're doing right. You know what I mean? When something is being done correctly, you uplift the brothers. You understand? When something is done wrong, you correct them according to the law. You understand? But we're not gonna try to do things for strife, because in the world that's what we're taught. In the world we're taught to do anything to cause problems among brothers and sisters. Do anything to shine on brothers and sisters rather than to just grow among each other. You understand? And in the truth, this is how we are to be. In the truth, we are to only help each other to grow and to excel in things. You understand? So like, read on.
So like, if I
Yeah,
could,
go ahead.
it's just like the drug dealer, right? He's got, his cars, his chains, and he's flossing over the poor of our people and causing strife and jealousy and hatred,
Right.
which in turn will make them want to rob him. You understand?
Right.
Rather than doing what the scripture says.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? Like again, like, of course, a drug dealer is one of the most wicked mother effers in the community, you understand, who destroys his people. And anything that he does is to damage and destroy his brothers and sisters, you understand? Anything that he wants to do, is his goal is to gain for himself. His goal is to only benefit his own individuality self and forget about his entire race of people, his entire community.
Right.
Doesn't care how he gets it, but as long as he's got the chains and the nice stuff, but his brothers have to suffer at the hands of him when he sells the drugs in the community. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with a brother having nice things, but the means you get it and the way you carry yourself, even when you have it, you know what I mean? You're not like, oh, look at me, look at that. Nah, man, you're just doing your thing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Brothers and sisters in the truth have jewelry all over. You know what I mean? Teeth and grills and everything. But our spirit is not to, look down upon our brothers, because why? Those same brothers with them chains in the truth are the ones, feeding the poor. You understand? They're the ones going out in the streets and teaching and giving the knowledge and food and the health to the lost. You know what I mean? So yeah, you understand? We as a people need to walk away from those things, because these things are what we learn in this captivity. These are the things that we learn from our oppressors, and this is how people, the drug dealers in the community in the time of our king. You understand? A drug dealer is a witch. You understand? You know what I mean? He's a witch, just like of ancient times, a warlock or witch. In ancient times, when you look at all these old movies, right? Whenever they go to a witch or a wizard to see things or to divine, right? Or divine means to see things into the future, right? They always have either a cauldron or a little pot with some kind of smoke coming out of it. Well, guess what that smoke is? Guess what that is? It's a drug. It's a hallucinogen, whether it be weed, whether it be some form of other drug that grows in the earth that has certain effects when you light it. You understand? There's many drugs like that. You understand? And whatever. And sometimes it's not even. Sometimes it may not be like a smoke. It may be a drink. It may make the person, when they come and see this witch or whatever, you give them a drink, and whatever's in that drink is a concoction to let their mind go high. You understand? It is a hallucinogen, right. And these things is no different from today. And today, for a price, you would get something, a hallucinogen or smoke or a drink, and it will make you, make you high. It will make you see things. It's a hallucinogen, and it makes you feel good, and you see a vision of things, but that's witchcraft, man. All of that is witchcraft. You understand? They have concoctions of herbs that they drink or they smoke. I mean, what's they have, what's that what's purple? That's cough syrup. You know what I mean? Cough syrup and Sprite, I believe. You understand? Right. You understand? And that is literally, just like weed, it is a misuse of drugs. You don't have a cough, why are you drinking that? You know what I mean? Just like smoking anything. You know what I mean? You have no purpose smoking anything, because all it does is destroy you. You know what I mean? And even the use of so-called weed or marijuana, you know what I mean? It has a purpose, but that purpose is not if you feel you feel you want to get high or you stress. No, that purpose is for if you have a painkiller and you have a terminal illness, and that's the only way to get through the pain. That's what that purpose is. That's what it's used for. But if you're not sick and you're not dying, you're not suffering a terminal illness, you have no purpose or no place, dealing with no weed. Or damn sure, if you don't have no cough, why are you drinking cough syrup? You understand? But back to the point, you know what I mean? Back to the point, drug dealers are witches, man. You understand? And in the time of Christ, those who are called officers in the school today, those are the people who would enforce the law. You understand? Those people that are called priests and officers in the school today, they will be the ones enforcing the law. And those men and women that are selling drugs in the community will be put to death in the time of our King. So just know that, you know what I mean, in this world that you live in the land of our oppressor, there's all this democracy and love and fairness and religious belief and different religious beliefs, and you got this freedom of speech and all that. In the kingdom to come, there is no such thing as freedom of speech. You know what I mean? You doing certain things that is worthy of death, you're gonna get put to death on the spot. You understand?
Right.
You'll be put to death, or you'll be tried and put down. You understand? That's what those enforcers will do. They'll be enforcing the law of the Most High in the streets, wherever it may be, all over the earth. Damn sure in Jerusalem, but any other place on the earth as well. We would of course have rule. That's how it would be. And these are the people in the community that destroy our people. But yet, you know what I mean, so the same brothers will talk about Black Lives Matter, but yet they're the same ones killing their own brothers in the streets. Nah, man. Right. You know what I mean? We as a people need to come together and forsake other nations of people and forsake the love that we have been taught to have for those who oppress us. So Lucky, read on.
Look not every man on his own thing, Salakia. Not that one. Verse 5. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Yahushua. Verse 6. Who being in the form of Yahweh thought it not robbery to be equal with Yahweh, but made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men.
So our King, when he came on the earth, he was just as every other brother. He came from the seed of YAHWH or Joseph, and that's down the bloodline of the son of David. You understand? He came from the bloodline of David through a man's seed into a woman called Mary. You understand? And that is how he was conceived on this earth. You understand? Christ was brought on the earth just like every other brother. You understand? Before the ceremony, before the formality of things, Joseph and Mary, they got down and they had a baby before the protocol of things. The protocol is that they would have a feast and a celebration and a ceremony, but they kind of jumped the gun, just like us brothers in the world today, just like us brothers here today. You know what I mean? Many of us, our parents didn't go through no ceremony. They just did things according to, they just got down. You understand? They didn't do things that were according to the status quo of this kingdom that we're living in. They did things according to, they just got married. You know what I mean? They just had a baby and they did what they did. And just like, and born in the ghetto, man, you understand? Christ was raised up in the land of his people. He weren't no rich noble, you understand? He was, you know what I mean? He was a carpenter's son, you understand? He wasn't no rich man with great riches and wealth and looking down on his people. No, he was in the midst of it with everybody else. You understand? That's how our King came upon the earth, man. You understand? And he came in that state, in that lowness, because he wanted to be just like us and just like everything that he kept, the perfection that he lived up to. That is to show us that even in the midst of everything that he suffered the same thing that we went through. He felt the same things we felt, and yet and still he achieved the perfection that we must strive for. He achieved the perfection of the laws and the statutes and the ordinances that was given unto us. He perfected those things in the midst of that. He wasn't no guardian angel floating around. He came as a man. You understand? When he comes back, he'll come back with power. And that's a different time. But when he came on the earth, he was coming as everybody else. So there's no excuse. There's no excuses as to why, we can't strive for the law and do what is right. We're not going to be weak like the Christian church, and they just allow us to be. So because we're too weak and we can't keep the law. So now what? You're going to be a pedophile and a homosexual and a whore? Nah, man. That's not what Christ taught, and that's not of this Bible. But that is what your oppressor taught, because that's what he is. He is a vile beast, and that is what you love. But in so-called 2021, there are men of the Lord who will stand against it, regardless of the consequences. We will stand against this kingdom and what it teaches and what it promotes, because we will stand for what is right and our laws and our ways. You understand? So like, if you drop that, and if you get Proverbs 29 and verse 11, Bob Kishar,
Come.
We as a people need to come back to what we once lost, man. You understand? We lost what is great and what is ours, and we will come back to it. We will take what is ours, man. And this earth is rightfully ours. This earth is rightfully ours under our King. You understand? And soon, and time will come and we will take it back.
Is that Proverbs 29:11, Salakia?
Correct.
Proverbs 29:11. A fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards.
So a fool uttereth all his mind. You understand? In the world today, we see brothers and sisters who just go everything based on what they think in their mind. They act upon what they think. You understand?
Right.
And that is how brothers, there's blood in the streets. That's why there's gang violence. That's why there's abortions. That's why there's most of the horrific and horrendous things in our community today, because everybody goes based on what they feel and think. But the Bible says a fool does that. You understand? A fool goes and speaks all his mind and doesn't consider anything. He just does whatever comes to mind.
Right.
And does it, but it says a wise man will wait and will speak after. You understand? After all the emotion and all the mix of everything, he will wait till after the incident, and then he will speak when it's appropriate time. He won't just do it at that time. He will wait for the appropriate time to then do it, because at that time he's more calm and collect, and he can actually think about what he's going to say and what he's going to do. But in the world today, a lot of the crime and the black on black crime and the killing and the it's all just based on emotion. It's all just based on, I think this, so I'm going to do this. You know what I mean? And that's how a lot of the things in our community have transpired, because based on that. So like you read on.
If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked.
So if a ruler hearken unto lies, meaning what? If a man that's in charge and he hearken unto lies, just like in the Christian church, when they follow this homosexual blindly, or they follow these heretic leaders and these fake groups so blindly, you understand, considering their wicked ways, and they still follow them, then read on. Then what is wicked again? So I can read that again. If a fool what?
If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked.
So all his servants are wicked, you understand? All that follow him are wicked as well. So when you're in those purple sodomite groups and you think that, the way they structure and do things in there, which allows heathens to be in there and allows, murderers and killers to attack and destroy the children and daughters of Zion, you're following his actions. You're following that ruler's actions. You're following the ruler's actions who molest the children and sleeps with men's wives in the church. You understand? You're following the ruler you're following the ruler who teaches rape. You understand? And you follow that. And you will bear the same thing. You are the same as he is. You understand? You're all wicked. And that's how it is in the world in the world today. When we want to follow people who are doing wickedly, even though we may not have done what they did, you still answer for it because you stood by their side at that time. You stood by their side in their wickedness. You did not, you did not stand against them, but you stood with them, and that is those who bear the great sin, just like the leader did. You understand? So, like, you had something.
Concert, yeah. Their gates in the ISU, IUIC, and GMS and all those other fake camps. Their gates have languished. Just to add on to your point of them letting sodomites in and other nations of people into their congregation. They've actually failed them, Salakia, because they've let people in that can destroy them, Salakia.
Well, it's like this, right? One time you can say that, and yes, they have, but at the same time, these people that are under them, they know exactly what's going on. You know what I mean? They didn't turn from them when they understood that. You know what I mean? Yes, our leaders as a people. You know what I mean? You got Louis Farrakhan, you got what's that? You know what I mean? You got Martin Luther King, for example, right? He let people into a burning house. But there was those who are still in the church following him, and there are those who have witnessed that and have turned from him. That's the difference, you understand? Those people in there today have still seen and witnessed these things, but yet and still they are in there. And they will bear the same record. They will bear the same sin, you understand? They will bear the same judgment for their wicked ruler. So like if you get 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 17, Bob Kishar. You know what I mean? That's the reality. When we as a people want to do what we feel is right, not based on what the facts says. Forget what we feel. Let's look at what the facts is, man. You know what I mean? That's the problem with the community today. They want to go based on how they feel. That's why they want to smoke weed and sniff all the drugs in the world and destroy themselves, because they want to go based on how they feel. They don't want to go based on what the law says. They don't want to observe and then analyze the situation and then speak. No, they don't want to do that. They want to just go based on. They want to do whatever they want when they want it, without analyzing the facts first. And that's what we find in the community today. That's why we as a people suffer what we suffer because of that same mindset. So like read that well, Kishore.
John, 2 Corinthians 5 verse 3.
17.
Salakia, 17. Therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature.
Mm-hmm. So any man that comes to serve the Lord, and he comes to change himself and sincerely changes his life and sincerely changes his thought and mindset and process and the way of doing things, and he tries to reform himself, you understand? He shall be what?
Behold, Salakia, all things are passed away. Sorry, Salakia, he's a new creature, Salakia.
Right, you understand?
He's a new creature.
That's right, you understand? He is a new creature. He is a new creature now, because he has forsaken the weakness and the uncleanness of the world, and he has strived to serve our King Yahushua Christ. He has come to serve Christ and to do what his will is, and to forsake all that he was and what he knew, and to do what he was commanded in that day. You understand? So, like, read on.
Khan. All things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. And all things are of God, who have reconciled us to himself by Jesus Christ.
Right, you understand? And so through all of that, through the mercy of the Most High and the grace of our King, this is how we've achieved these things, man. This is how brothers and sisters can come out of the world, and all the things that they have said and done in the world, they can come and forsake that and do what is right. You understand? And fight this battle, you know what I mean? This battle with the mind, and fight the battle that is in this kingdom, man. Fight the fight of the Lord, man, and fight on the right side, man. Because if you know what I mean, those who have, you know what I mean, in this day and age, it's not about how you feel, it's about what side you've chosen and what decisions you have made. And there's no in between. There's no lovey-dovey, you can do what you want and everyone's happy. No. Listen, you will have to answer for the decisions you make in these days.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean? In the next life you will have to answer for it. In this life you may have to answer for it. You understand? But one way, form, or fashion, you will have to answer for the crimes and for the decisions that you make. Whatever things that you do, understand that we all are big people, you know what I mean? And everything that we do and say will be, the Lord will have our judgment on, you know what I mean? The Lord will judge us on all these things. We can all
Right.
pray that the Lord has mercy on us, but it's not up to us, it's up to the Most High. The Lord will have
Right.
his judgment. And his laws and his statutes will stand regardless
That's
of
right.
how it may feel, whatever you may think, regardless of any of that, the laws of the Most High will stand. And if you chosen the side of a coward or you chosen the side of someone that is self-willed, well, then you've picked your side. You have not chosen to serve our King. You have not
That's
chosen to
right.
be on this side of the righteous, and you will find your judgment. So, like, read on.
Quran. And have given us the ministry of reconciliation,
Mm-hmm.
to wit, that God was in Christ, reconciling the world unto himself, not imputing their trespasses unto them, and have committed unto us the word of reconciliation.
Okay, so like drop that here. If you get me First Peter's chapter 3 and verse 8, Bob Kashar.
Quran.
You understand? We as a people need to understand that this is a fight, man. This is a fight that we will all have to fight. This is something that we will all have to go through. It is not going to be easy. It is going to be a battle. You know what I mean? You'll
Right.
be battling your own self, your own mind, your own
Khan.
desires and lusts. But you have to be strong, because if you're weak, then you will fall. You understand? But that's why you have to know that you have brothers and sisters also. You know what I mean? That's why there's brotherhood and sisterhood, because that's why you can call brothers and sisters in your time of sorrow and need. You can call brothers. But if you do not, if you forsake the brotherhood, if you forsake the sisterhood, and you're struggling and you're weak, and you don't seek that help from your brothers and sisters, you can never be you can never be reformed, because this is not a battle that we can do alone. You understand? This is a battle that we must do together. This is the whole purpose of things. This is why Christ came, to show us these things and to show us, to show us what is written and how to do what is right. You know what I mean? And that he showed us that, listen, man, you need one another. Brothers and sisters need one another, man. You need brothers to tell you what this is and tell you what that is. You need sisters to help you out and to stand with you in your time of sorrow. You need brothers to stand with you in your time of struggle and tribulation. But
Khan. So like I said,
if you want to be segregated on your own, you'll never find that strength. You know what I mean? So like, you had something?
Khan, so you said something earlier. You just said something about fighting your own mind. And
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you, is there such thing as like fighting your own mind, or when you fight something, are you fighting an entity like a demon rather than fight yourself?
No.
Is it, you feel what I'm saying?
Okay, you'll be fighting the thought process. Okay, so a thought will cross your mind, right? A wicked thought will come upon your mind. You're not physically fighting a demon, but you're fighting the temptation of that demon. A demon is a being that is commanded to tempt you. It's a being that is commanded of Satan, and Satan is commanded of the Most High. You understand? There are wicked angels and there are good angels, and Satan is one of those wicked angels who will tempt you, just like he tempted Job, and he is commanded. That's his job. He that's his job, man. That's what he's created to do. But your job is a test. And your job is to fight those thoughts. Your job is to stand against those thoughts. Whatever it may take, you call a brother or whatever it may be, that's what you do to strive against it. You understand? So you're not like in church where you're gonna start walking on walls and your head's gonna spin around. Nah, that's not gonna happen. But you will. It is a fight, though. You know what I mean? You will be tested with thoughts in your mind. You're just doing your thing, and then randomly you get a thought in your head that's just random, and it's like, what the hell? But how you deal with that is what the Lord is testing you on. How you deal with that thought, whether you you try to call your brothers and try to strengthen yourself, or you pray to the Lord and strengthen your mind. You understand? But whatever it is, you used to stand against it, man. That's what it is. So you're not physically fighting a entity, but you're fighting yourself in regards to the thoughts that come in your head. But the thoughts that come in your head are from a demon that is tempting you. You understand? So for example, a demon will tempt someone based on what they do. So if I suffer with smoking, for example, that's what the demon will test me with. That's what I'm dealing with. That's my thing, right? And he's getting at me with that. That's something that I'm dealing with. That's one of the things that he can get me at. Now you gotta be strong enough to say, you know what, F them damn cigarettes or whatever, weed or whatever the case it may be. You know what I mean? And that's how you're gonna fight it. You know what I mean? That's the only way. And like I was saying before, you know what I mean? That's why, in many situations where it may be too much for a brother or sister, that's why you have your brothers and sisters. That's the strength in brotherhood and sisterhood, is that you have brothers who you can call and sisters that you can call, where you're not alone and you can be strong but if you're by yourself, like scripture says, two is better than one, right? And so that if one falls, the other can uplift the other, right? That's kind of, you know what I mean? That's the point. You know what I mean? It's like if you're there struggling with these things, and you're on your ones, you're doing your thing, and you're just getting these thoughts in your head, and it's like, damn, man, you're trying to, you know what I mean? It's getting to you. That's a time where if it's getting to you and you can't, you try to fight it, and it's like it's almost got you, and it's like you're almost done. That's the time where you should seek. It's where the time you should seek your brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? That's the time you should seek your brothers, and they can help you out. You know what I mean? That's what brotherhood and sisterhood is about. That unity is how we can achieve greatness. That is how we can do many great wonders, and also more than anything, the faith in the Lord, the faith in the Most High, and keeping to the service of the Lord and doing what is right. You understand? You know what I mean? Keeping yourself occupied and studying and watching classes and reading and doing something that keeps your mind occupied, that keeps you away from the thought process of suffering that demon. You know what I mean? Suffering at the hands of that demon and fall into that temptation. So yeah, I mean,
yeah.
No sweat.
I mean, I was just saying about now people are like, for me now, I can recognize, when something ain't right no more. When because it don't come into your. It's like the demon speaks to you like it's your own voice. But now I'm kind of recognizing now that, damn, I shouldn't be thinking like this against my brother, or I shouldn't be thinking against this like this. Only now, though, I've started to recognize, only because I'm starting to study more, where I can say, you know what, this don't line up with God's word, what I'm hearing right now.
Yeah.
You understand? So like you.
Yeah, no sweat. And that's the thing. You know what I mean? Every brother and sister has got to make sure that everything that they do and say is based in the law. You know what I mean? You can justify it in your sayings. And if what you're thinking is not justifiable, then the greatest thing that you can do is call a brother or sister. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be.
That's right.
But that's the greatest thing you can do. And that is the way that you can achieve it. You know what I mean? But, it's a phone call. Like back in the day, there was no phone call, man. You know what I mean? You had to ride a horse and go down somewhere and in some long place. But today, in the time of technology, we can call each other. You know what I mean? That's the key. We can use this social media to help us and better ourselves in our own way. You know what I mean? But so like if just
1 Peter 3:8.
Can't.
Finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another.
Right, you understand? And that thing there, it sounds simple and it sounds like it's basic, but no, it is a different thing. Having compassion to your brothers. In the world, it's a word that is used, compassion, right? But understand this, now every black man from every black of the transatlantic slave trade and every native of North and South America can adhere to this. When you see your people suffering something day to day in the ghetto, getting killed and dying and all the rest of it, you don't have no compassion. You don't have compassion for that. When you see some little white boy dying, or some little white girl, Sassy or Sally, dying, or you see, some African villagers that's suffering, ain't got no water, you got some compassion for that. But your brothers in the ghetto with you, you ain't got no compassion for that. You understand? That's the mindset that we have as a people. We have compassion unto other nations of people, not our own. When we see young brothers destroying themselves and young sisters destroying themselves, where is our compassion? You know what I mean? Where's our compassion for them? Having compassion to one another is a weapon. You understand? Brotherhood and sister is a weapon, man, and that is something that we need to. That's a weapon that we should, draw out of his sheath and actually use, because that's a weapon that we need, man. That's a weapon that brothers and sisters today need, man. We need that, because when we see compassion, we don't want to think about when we look at our brothers and our sisters and we have compassion. You will know the difference between, because when you see white people on the TV crying, bro. There's a video. Remember that video, of a white police officer killing a white woman, killing a black man, and his brother was hugging. Was it him or her? Whatever. Yeah. Remember that, right? You see that? That's the mindset of a slave. And the police officer was stroking her hair, like she just killed. She is all right. That's it. The white police officer woman went into the man's yard and killed the man. His brother hugged her, right? And the black police officer is stroking her hair. This is sick. It's a sickness.
Destroyed.
You know what I mean? That's right. We are sick. We are a sick people, man.
That's right.
Sick. Like you're sick, man. Listen, no nation of people is gonna have their brother, their sister, right? They're in their yard chilling, and then some police officer goes in their yard and shoots them up, and then you're gonna go hug that person? Nah, man, that's sick. That is sick. You understand? That is a sickness among our brothers and sisters, man. That blind love for them, and you have no. That's your blood brother. Like, remember, that's your blood brother. He just died. She just went in his yard and killed him, right? And you dumb asshole stroking her hair, and then you got the brother hugging. Like, what the, bruh?
Do you know what?
Only a destroyed people. One second. Only a destroyed people would have that. That's a problem we have among us. Like, you can't even begin to fathom the mental, the mental and spiritual toll that slavery and oppression has taken on our people and our minds, man. The damage, the physical toll that we have endured is different, man. Just think about that. Even though it happened some time ago, there are many cases like it. But you know what I mean? It's just sick. But that's that compassion bit. That compassion bit is something that we need, man. We need this compassion among ourselves. We need to look at our brothers and our sisters and have. Listen, they are mine. They are my family. Right. You understand? We are family. You know what I mean? You need to open your eyes and look. They're your family, bro. That's all you got. All we got, man. And looking at the state and condition that we're in, and you don't have compassion for your own, but you got passion for them. Right. That's, but you had something anyway. You had something.
Another one, yeah. And the root of all of that, adding to what you said as well, which all of our people have suffered from. I just want to add it, and it come from that Christian church. Other one.
That's right. Damn right.
It's that church,
right, That's right.
That damn church that says love your enemies, backward thinking, Salakia.
Right. No, that's right, man. That's right. That is the sole core of it, is that church. Because you love your enemy when it comes to the enemies of your nation, but you don't love the enemy of your brothers and sisters in the same ghetto as you. You don't love that enemy. No, you don't love that. Don't love the enemy of the brother who owes you £10 or £5. But you love the enemy who people are slaughtering your brothers and raping your sisters and molesting your children and destroying your communities with their media. You don't love you want to love them, no man. But the Christianity has taken its toll on our people. And that is why those in the church today are really must be in La La Land, because listen, in 2021, so-called, right? This is a time of knowledge, and you still in that witchcraft, that spell of Christianity. Listen, man,
that's right.
It is a sickness, and there's no drug. There's no drug worse. No drug addiction. No mental illness worse than the illness and the addiction of Christianity. There's no mental illness, right? You can go to any asylum across the world, that you won't find no madman or woman worse off than the mad people in the Christian church. You won't find it, bro. You won't find it, because only someone of that caliber can do those things, man, and hurt yourself. You understand? That you think cutting yourself is bad. You know people that get suicidal and they get weak and they want to kill themselves and hang themselves. Listen, man, the church is worse than that.
That's right.
Because not only will you happily allow yourself to be oppressed and destroyed, but you will happily destroy your people. You understand? And that's why we need the brotherhood of the school. We need the brotherhood of the scriptures, and we better come up in the I.S.U.P.K and serve the Most High and Christ under command of YAHANNA. That's the class. Pass the class. The truth with the announcements. You understand?
We are I.S.U.P.K, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General YAHANNA. Rules for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other after. So after this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. TITHES, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21 and Malachi 3:8-10 means 10th in the Hebrew. Ma'ashara, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest funds, free will offering for priest, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming Holy Convocation is the 25th and 26th of February this month. It's called Purim.
Cool.
You can't. At 396 Lodge Road?
394 Lodge Road.
394 Lodge Road, Birmingham. B18.
5PW.
5PW, they got that. Remind the RKM and the ARCWAF to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, scarf, and with that a margin. We'll say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew first, and then in English. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Haya. Shamka. Yahweh. Malakwafka. Taba'a. Ratazaka. Haya. Aisha. Barataza. Kawo. Haya. Bashamayim. Nathanawa. Lakam. Kalyawam. Wasalakanawa. Kabuwathanawa. Kasalakanawa. Kabuwathanawa. Salakia. Wala'a. Taba Yanawa.
Sabi ya Ainawa.
Banasaya 1.
Banasaya 1.
Abul.
Abal.
Hawashainawa.
Hawashainawa.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Rai.
Rai.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Laka.
Laka.
Hamalakwaf.
Hamalakwaf.
Wala ala.
Wahala.
Wahataparaf.
Wahaparaf.
La Iwalamium.
La Iwalamium.
Amen.
Oh man, and in the English, our Father.
Our Father.
Which art in heaven.
Which art in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
In earth.
In earth.
As it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us this day.
Our daily bread.
Our daily bread.
Forgive us our debts.
And forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not.
And lead us not.
Into temptation.
Into temptation.
But deliver us from evil.
But deliver us from evil.
Thine is the kingdom.
Thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
So be it. And with that,
so be it.
courtesy salute. I imagine Shabbat. I imagine Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatah.
Yahweh Hashem Barakatah.
Yashamatah. Class dismissed. Alright, Shalom. Yahweh Hashem Barakatah.